Hello, everybody. Sanibonani. Thank you so much for joining me again on this video. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyasifunda iy'ncwadi zethu ey'bhalwe ngolimi lwethu lwesiZulu bese siza la soyixoxa phela. Sizixoxelani? Sixoxela laba abanqanayo ukuthi bay'funde iy'ncwadi bese siphinda futhi sixoxela nalaba abasuke bengenaso isikhathi sokuthi bay'funde. Bese siyabuya-ke futhi senze ama-video siwabiza ngokuthi ama-notes to the writer la sisuke khona sidiscussa any issues asuke evukile ngenkathi sifunda le yitori ngoba phela the whole purpose ukuthi sifunde iy'ncwadi ukuthi zikwazi ukuthi zisikhulise futhi zenze ukuthi sivuse imicabango ethile ey'ngqondweni zethu. Siyaphinda-ke futhi sincome ama-writers ethu siphinde sibuze imibuzo ethile futhi sibe ney'khalo uma ngabe siney'khalo ngesitori asuke sibhalile umbhali wethu. Sisekuyona incwadi le ebizwa ngokuthi ulabhoboka ithumba kodwa sesizoyiqeda-ke namhlanje senza i-notes to the writer kule story lesi esibizwa ngokuthi Isibhamu. So i-notes to the writer yami-ke namhlanje izohlukana kabili. One, I just want to discuss izinto ey'thile ezenzekayo la kule story bese kuba nale issue yey'bhamu when it relates to i-safety yabantu besifazane. So I want to do another section la ngizodiscussa khona that part. One of the things that really bothered me ngale ndaba lena was the issue ye-abuse. I think seziningi iy'tori engiy'fundile kule ncwadi ey'khuluma about women abuse. I think it's said ukuthi and it's to find ukuthi ukukhuluma ngama-issues e-women abuse as South Africans, it's something that has become such a norm. Ukuzwa ngabantu besifazane abahlukumezekayo, ukuzwa ngabantu besifazane abashonile ezandleni zabesilisa who are supposed to love and protect them. So kusaid nje kakhulu lana. Inama-issues zikathile engibe nawo ngendlela umbhali abhale ngayo le story. I think number one nje walana was ukuthi umlingisi wethu lana uZandile is like 9 months pregnant because ubelethile. Akushiwo ukuthi ubelethe before time, ubelethe vele bese kwesikhathi ukuthi abelethe. She's 9 months pregnant. However, lana kunembuzo yokuthi has she done i-abortion? Kubuza lana-ke umbodla. One, I had an issue with the fact that umbodla wasn't sure ukuthi uZandile uyilokhuzile yini. Did she go ahead with an abortion? But how can he not know? Because if uZandile is 9 months pregnant, that is something that is obvious. Obviously, she is heavily pregnant. Umbodla knows that abortion didn't take place. Or did umbodla still want her to commit ilokhuzana, to go ahead with the abortion, even though he knew she is 9 months, she's heavily pregnant. So kuke kwangiconfusa nje kakhulu lokho ngoba it's almost like ubengekho sure ukuthi uZandile usakhula, because mayehlangana nomngane kaZandile lapha noMathemba ukhuluma ngokuthi uphi uZandile bese uthi uNomathemba hawu angithi usuzoba ubaba. So uyamangala lapho umbodla. I'm like, how can he be separate? Kanti usigcine nini isithandwa sakhe? That part ye-story really confused me indlela abhale ngayo umbhali ukuthi how can he not know ukuthi girlfriend yakhe is 9 months pregnant because she was about to give birth. So ingiconfusile lapho leyo ndaba. Mhlawumbe ngelinye ilanga somthola umbhali asicacisele ukuthi what was happening, what was going on in her mind when she wrote that part. Mhlawumbe ngayiclarify yena sizwe kahle phela ngoba thina simona ababhali sabafundi beyincwadi nje kuphela. Also ke enye into njena engihluphe kakhulu is that I did feel like intention yombhali was to write about a story that will end up in a romantic way, that will give you a feeling of this is romantic at the end when they get engaged. But for me, it didn't do that. Because I feel like lo muntu wesifazane is emotionally abused, because for somebody to tell you ukuthi hamba uyokwenza i-abortion, if you don't I will kill you, and they don't tell you ukuthi it's a test, they tell you, so you think they're really going to kill you because you're looking at history yabo and you're previously he's been accused of killing his wife lo muntu lona. So if he says he's going to kill me, he really is going to kill me. And Also mayihamba la uyomfuna umlandela ngesibhamu, and mayifika lapho uqhumisa isibhamu indicating ukuthi which could be i-sign yokuthi uzombulala, but obviously umbhali befuna ukusitshela ukuthi that was a sign yokuthi ujabulile ukuthi uthole ingane. I didn't understand. I feel like there is such an abusive thing ukuthi and make someone to think ukuthi you're going to kill them. So uzobona ukuthi under that pressure imaphi ama-decisions abazowenza, and then if they make the decision that you want wena bese-ke uyapropose. I feel like I wish ukuthi uZandile will say no to that proposal, because vele at the end uzofa. If she marries uMbodla, I feel like vele uzo-end up hefa. There is a way ukuthi uzofa. Khona into ayogcina engayenzanga, because it means ukuthi in their relationship uzohlala ethola ama-test nje lawa ethestwa uMbodla, efuna ukumbona ukuthi uzokwenza ama-decisions lawa yena uMbodla awalindele yini, and if she doesn't, then she might die. So that is not a healthy relationship. There is not a healthy relationship at all. So I do hope ukuthi uZandile says no to leya proposal leyana. Just to mention ukuthi if you are confused ukuthi sikhuluma ngani, buyela emuva uyobuka indaba ebhalwe ukuthi Isibhamu, ebhalwe uPhindile Sithole. Kuwona ama-video engiwenzile a few days ago, so uzo-understanda ilokhuzana i-review yethu namhlanje. So that was the first part of ilokhuzana of a review that I wanted to do. But I also just wanted to because indaba yalesibhamu lesi, even i-title yalendaba says Isibhamu, it made me think ukuthi how come in South Africa abantu that always have ibhamu in their hands, it's men, and it ends up in the hands of men. I don't know if the guns make men more abusive, or abusive men always seek to have guns for some reason. Angazi which one comes first, but I feel like for the most part you hardly ever hear of a woman that shot somebody, shot and killed somebody. And so I feel like most guns, but this is my assessment as an individual, I feel like most guns are in the hands of men. So it made me think, how come Tina as women we don't see it as an option to own a gun, just to protect ourselves, to protect yourself? How come we don't see it as an option to own a gun? I know one time this one person posted a picture of a gun and said, ladies, the way things are going in South Africa, every lady should own one of these. And I'm a comments like we're supporting what the person opposite said. Because yes, we do need guns. Every woman should have a gun. So I thought, I started thinking, yes, I don't even know if I wanted a gun, where would I go about getting a gun? And I started thinking, I've never even seen a gun shop. Where do you get a gun? Because when I listen to the news and they say a crime was committed, when they say a crime was committed with a legal gun, I always think that's a gun that comes from the police force. And then they say illegal. I always wonder, where do they get illegal guns? What is an illegal gun? Where do they get an illegal gun? So I went on Google and I said gun shops in KZN, and I think almost like 10 or 12 shops were listed, and I was like, oh, so there are gun shops. And I was like, it's a funny thing that it's not something that you see every day. So I wanted to find out, as umuntu wesifazane, if you wanted to look at the option of owning a gun for self-defense, how is that process, and how come we never take that option we can own a gun? So this is how so I decided to research how do you get a gun. This is so we want to go a legal way. If you make an option, not me, because when I imagine a gun, I feel like I'll put it in a drawer and it draw, it's safe. The way I'm so scared of guns. But I feel like as women, it's an option that maybe we need to look at, the way that we are so unsafe in South Africa. So I went and I looked, how do you get a gun license? Okay, that's the first step, because obviously you won't be able to get a gun without a license. How do you get a gun license? But before even you get to the point where you get a gun license, number one, you have to go to an accredited institution and get training. lapho in institution means ukuthi uya-trainer and you take a test. And then masuqedile that training-ke in an accredited institution, but kunama-accredited institution, so you'll have to go and research what are the accredited institutions in South Africa that offer this training to own a gun. And bese masuqedile training, you get a certificate abayibiza ngokuthi i-proficiency certificate. Okay, uyayithola i-proficiency certificate, and then bathi-ke mengabe u-apply ukuze uthole i-proficiency certificate, these are the documents that they need from you. This is the institution le e-applyela ilokhuza le ekutrainayo for i-certificate. Bathi fanele ube ne-ID document, means you have to be a South African citizen, or ube namaphepha ukuthi legally use-South Africa ngokusemthethweni, bese uba nelokhuzana 2 photos ze-passport. Bese bethi kuyenzeka-ke phela ukuthi kube na-any other documents where they feel ukuthi you need those documents to support i-application yakho phela la elokhuzeni ukuze uthole your proficiency certificate, and then they say ukuthi you need i-motivation letter-ke. And then i-application yakho-ke is done, suwenzile i-training, uthole i-proficiency certificate yakho. But that proficiency certificate doesn't mean ukuthi you are ready to own a gun. Uyayithatha leyo proficiency certificate uya nayo-ke manje e-police station. E-police station-ke manje suyo-applyelani i-competency certificate. I hope ukuthi ngi-explain kahle this process. Uyafika e-police station, uyasho ukuthi okay, sengithrainiwe, ngifuna ukuzo-applyela i-competency certificate. I-competency certificate-ke bathi-ke lana-ke uyagcwalisa-ke manjena-ke ama-documents-ke akhona la afanele uwagcwalise e-police station, nakhona futhi i-ID iyadingeka, i-training certificate phela lo ithole kwi-institution bayayifuna, 2 passport photos. I-South Africa is obsessed with 2 passport photos. Do they really use the 2? But yeah, they need 2. And then again, any other documents that the police might think that you need to submit. I don't know, affidavit, proof of address, whatever, payslip, I don't know. But yes, and then they need the motivation. You need to motivate as to why you need to own a Lokuzani firearm license. That is you applying for a competency certificate from Ilokuzana police station. And then once they process that, they say you have to get assessed because mentally, are you okay now, emotionally right now? They will interview certain people who are closer to you, maybe your mom or your wife. They will come to the house to see everything is in order. There's a place, there's a safe Isibhamu. They have to investigate ukuthi awunayo criminal record and awukwazi commit a crime mhlambe with Isibhamu or with an illegal firearm. Zonke lezo zinto lezo ziya investigation for them to give you a competency certificate. Now-ke bese uyahamba-ke uyolokhuza usuyo-applyela-ke usuyolokhuza e-gun shop-ke manje usuyofuna Isibhamu-ke. Uyafika e-gun shop-ke and then you choose whatever Isibhamu-ke leso ofanele usenge. If it's for self-defense, but you have an option to buy a handgun for ilokhuzana self-defense. So-ke bathi-ke lana after usuyile to a gun shop, usuchuzile Isibhamu, ukuthi nathi Isibhamu that you want to buy, then they give you a form abayibiza ngokuthi SAPS 271. If ngifunde kahle 271, bakunike le form. Le form izobe inama-details e-firearm le wena othe uyayifuna from the gun shop. But it's not like ungene e-gun shop ukhiphe imali and and ulokhuza and uphume nesibhamu. So uphuma neform, which form uyanayikhava ugcwalise all the information that they need, and you take that to a police station. A police station, there's a process that they do nayo, and then but it can take up to 4 or 5 months. Now they get back to gun shop to say now they get back to you to say now you can come and collect your license card, and then bese uyahamba-ke manje uye gun shop-ke usuyothola-ke leso sibhamu leso esi-approve-iwe ukuthi usithole. Now they say for every gun, it's like a TV. For every gun that you have or you own, you have to have a license. So every time you take this, you go through this process. At least you train anyway from the school, but you still have to go through competency assessment. You still have to go to a gun shop, select a gun, and motivate why you need a gun because you already have the first gun. Motivate why you need a gun, and then go back to the police station, and then they do their investigation, and then they get back to you to say it's approved or not. And then there's also a process where it's not approved, and you can appeal as we normally do in South Africa when things don't get approved. One thing that I also, guys, note that throughout this process is not free. The institution that trains you to be competent in handling a gun, you pay that institution. At the police station, when you want applying for a competency, there's an amount that you pay. At the gun shop, when you buy now you're buying a gun, there's an amount that you pay. So for every step to get a firearm, you have to pay. So you have to be able to afford this whole process, and it's a long process. Like just the process of you going to a gun shop and walking out with a form and then taking that form to the police station, that that part of the process alone, they say it can take up to 5 months. So imagine the whole from the beginning where you go to training up until the gun is in your hand. Also, there's rules as to how the setup at home has to be, when the gun is supposed to be kept in a safe, when it's not, when it's supposed to be loaded or not. So you have to understand all of those rules. So looking at this process, guys, I felt ukuthi Nene, it's not an easy process, and it should not be easy because Isibhamu can do so much damage. Guns already do so much damage in our society. Really, the process shouldn't be easy. But I'm just thinking as a woman, if I wanted a gun for self-defense, if I will be able to go through this process or the whole of this process just so I can get a gun. So in a way, I felt like I understand why so many women um, don't go the route of getting a gun to protect themselves. First, this information is not readily available. It's not even so much, even on Google to get it. Like I had to go to so many places to actually get it because specifically I wanted information for South Africa. Other countries is like it's more available than South Africa. So if the information is not readily available for South Africans on how the process works, but also it's a long as process. It's a long as process for us to be able to get that gun, to be able to protect us. So I do understand why it's not an easy option for us ladies to just say, I'll own a gun so that I can protect myself. Also, I was reading up on just statistics before I um, before I decided to research on how to get a gun because obviously a lot of crime that is committed, there's a lot of crimes that are committed without guns. I mean, we just watched one lady that was killed by her boyfriend Wasahwa. There was, I believe, there was no gun used there. There are so many people that are killed like that, and there are no guns used. But there's also so many crimes that are committed with guns. And uh, and so I wanted to read on the statistics and on whether people really take that option to use guns as self-defense. And apparently, it's very rare that you find that people are killed with a gun and it was a case of a self-defense. So it's not just, especially they say in South Africa, they say it's extremely rare that you find a case where somebody has been shot and it's been self-defense. A lot of the times it is intentional. Someone is trying to commit a crime, maybe it goes wrong, they shoot somebody, or they have intentions to shoot somebody, or they walk out with an intention to go and shoot somebody. So they say it's not an option that South Africans are taking anyway. Maybe it's because of the process, of how difficult and long the process is to get the gun that makes people just not take that option. I don't know. Or it's just our fear of guns, which is not a bad thing because honestly, the more guns that there are in society, the more violence we're going to experience probably. So maybe it's not a bad thing that we are so intimidated by guns. So they're saying that actually there's more legal firearms that are used in committing crimes than there are illegal firearms. So, um, in a way, if people take options to get firearms, legal firearms, maybe we will be taking a chance as South Africans to increase. Because even nje endaweni mabakwazi ukuthi unesibhamu, iy'gebengu zakhona zizokucabanga ukuthi uma ifuna isibhamu zizoza zizokubamba zikuphuce lezo. Even leso sibhamu increases the chances of you being attacked, so they can take that gun, because you can't keep it a secret all the forever that you own a gun. So even that puts you at risk. So I felt at the end of doing this very short research, I realized that I do understand why South Africans, especially South African women, are not taking the option to own a firearm, because the process is not convenient, the process is long, the process is very confusing, the process is expensive, but also owning a gun can also make you a target to even more criminal acts towards you. So yes, but again, it's an option, guys, because we if you feel like you could go through that process, if you feel like you could afford it, it's an option, because right now we are not safe as women. We are not safe from strangers. We are not safe from our family members. We are not safe from our loved one, people that we spend time with, people that we tell that we love, people that tell us that love us. So we are not safe. So if you do have a chance and you feel like you could own a gun and you are responsible enough and mentally you could handle it, it is an option. You could read more on it. I'll try and put links down on my description on where I got most of my information, so maybe you can go and read on it. Maybe mawufunda wena kuyona uzothola more information than I got, and it will be more clearer than I'm trying to explain it, because I'm explaining a process I was reading on for the very first time. Guys, let's make sure that we are safe as women. It makes me sad to say to a woman, make sure you're safe, because quite honestly, when do we ever do something to make ourselves not safe? But yes, guys, let's be safe and make sure our kids understand the world out there is not safe, so they cannot live in Pilo, be as free as they used to be, and be as free as we used to be when we were younger. So just make your kids understand they cannot trust everybody. Even that boyfriend that you think will never do anything to you might just do something to you. It's a different world now, and we have to teach our children different from how we were taught. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. Please press like on my video, and also comment, please. Guys, I want to watch the video and go back and comment on Facebook, but you can also comment here. Thank you so much. Ngiyanithanda kakhulu.